Welcome back. This is Billy with Coach Dooley's List. And once again, if you are enjoying these videos, please like and subscribe to the YouTube page and also follow us along on all of our social media platforms. Today, I'm here at beautiful Seckinger High School with head softball coach Cameron Crawford. Coach, thank you for taking the time.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you being here today.
Absolutely. We tried this a couple weeks ago, and teaching gets in the way sometimes. But
well, that one was actually a fun run for my daughter.
Parenting gets in the way sometimes.
Had to go be dad that day. Yes, sir.
Well, I love it, and I love hearing too. That coaches get to go and do those things. So, hop right into it. Just let everybody know about your coaching journey and how you ended up here at Seckinger.
Yeah. So, I decided that I want to be a baseball coach after getting to play for Tom Cantrell at North Georgia, and my first job was actually coaching for my now wife. She was Jessica Cohen at the time, but right out of college, we both kind of wanted to go down the coaching path, and she got a head coaching job at GAC. Coach Judy Tenney was leaving, and she was a natural fit after being an alumni there. So my first softball gig was at GAC as her assistant coach. Fell in love with the game immediately. I wanted to be a baseball coach, but after getting to watch softball and getting to experience the relationships and the pace of the game, I knew that kind of my path was eventually going to be as a head softball coach one day. From there, I got to go to Mountain View, where I coached with Mike Kaysen and Jason Johnson as a baseball coach. And then I did 1 year at Buford with Trent Adams and Stuart Chester. And then blessed enough to be here now on my fourth season as the head softball coach at Seckinger.
Well, as many of us do, we fall in love with softball. And I don't know if I've ever told you this, but when y'all won the state championship at Mountain View,
yep.
I had my bracket and I picked y'all. And somebody goes, Mountain View, how? And I was at Mill Creek that year. Mm-hmm. And your pitcher, I can't remember her name.
Sarah Curry.
And she was really, really good.
She was, yep.
But also part of it, you wouldn't admit this, but what made her very good was she hit the spots that you called. And you made our hitters not look good. And a couple of people said, Mountain View? I said, uh-huh. I said, if he can figure out their hitters, I said, nobody else has a chance. Yeah. And I was validated in that. We didn't get down there, and y'all did. And
I appreciate the confidence.
Oh, yeah. And I've always, and look, even playing you here, I know I've always thought the world of what you did here. And getting this program started, you get a unique perspective of trying to build something from the ground up, which I've loved to watch this over the last couple of years. So, now, you take from good coaches, talk about Cantrell, Johnson, Coach Case and all those guys, and you take ideas from everywhere. So, taking all those ideas and building your own program, what is it you want Seckinger softball to be known for?
From an outside perspective, I feel like every coach has kind of the same goals. I want other people to see that our girls play hard. I want them to know that they love each other and they love this place and that they're going to be gritty until the end. I think we're a hard team to beat because we compete until the end. But even more important to me is kind of the inward perspective of what my girls and my families and my feeder programs think about and see of the inner workings of our program. I want our girls to feel loved. I want them to feel valued. When they leave here, I want them to be better people. And I think that that's the most important part. And I hope that the people in our school building, in our community, see that about Seckinger softball. I hope that they know that regardless if you're my leadoff and starting shortstop, or if you're a bench player in the JV program this year, I want them to make sure that they know that they feel valued and they have worth and they belong in our program. So I think those are the things that from a Seckinger softball community perspective, I think that's what's most important to me. I just want them to know that I care about them more than just a softball player. They're humans, and that comes first.
Yeah, and this. I mean, when you're working with 30, 35 kids, and then even the rec, or not the rec, but the feeder programs coming up, it's hard to do that because you try to interact with those kids every single day, and coaches should, but it is difficult. But in building those relationships over the years, could be other programs, could be here. I always ask coaches, there's always coaching stories that make you smile, make you laugh. So what's one of your favorite coaching stories from over the years?
So it's funny that you mentioned Sarah Curry earlier. I got that experience state championship very early in my career. She was a huge part of that. There was other, Lauren Evans and Kaylee George and other girls on that team who were excellent softball players. But we went to Cherokee to play in the second round. They were the 1 seed and had a very good team. And we went over there, and she had a hole in her drag foot on her cleats. And about halfway through the first game, she comes in the dugout and she's like, Coach Crawford, my toe's bleeding. And that joker limped out there every inning, and she threw 2 incredible games. And I'll never forget after we made the final out, like she hopped on Jamie Suggs. He's now the head coach at Peachtree Ridge, but she hopped on his back. He had to carry her out to the meeting in right field because she was hurting so bad. It was almost like a Kurt Schilling bloody stocks
That's what I was thinking
moment.
about.
It was really cool to see just the resilience and the perseverance, and an incredible kid, an incredible competitor, and to watch her lay it on the line for her team like she did, because kids like that are hard to come by. Kids that are willing to just, go out there with a bloody toe over and over again and keep plugging. It was one of the coolest moments I've ever gotten to experience, just watching a kid go through that and come out on the winning end of it.
Did she get new cleats before Columbus?
We got new cleats for the Columbus. Yeah, we had to break them in. It was a whole ordeal because she's very, she was one of those superstitious kids that want to change the cleats. But
duct tape.
Duct tape. Well, we were duct taping the dugout, and every inning she just wear right back through it. So, I was like, it is what it is. Go get them. That was a cool moment for me. And then getting to be here at Seckinger, getting to build this, and whatever it looks like, good or bad, is my fault. That's been awesome. The good stuff is all me. Not all me, but it's my vision, and the bad stuff, I'm the one who has to wear that too. There's nobody that's been here before me. But it was really cool our second year making a run in the playoffs. Like we were down in Columbus, and we had an awesome time. It was really cool. But we were down in Columbus, and I remember them calling us over the loudspeaker to come and do the coin flip before the game, and they were like, and they said our name completely wrong, completely botched. And I was like, girls, they got no idea who we are, but like we belong. And it was really cool to get to experience that like underdog story, and nobody even knowing who we were, but we had a group of gritty girls who didn't care what people thought of us, and they were going to go out there and make sure that people knew Seckinger by the time we were done.
And they definitely did. Yeah, I remember I think y'all lost the first game and then went on a run and finished, I think, fourth that year.
Yeah, we did finish.
And you've done a heck of a job. And so, in again, working for other coaches, being an assistant, wanting to become a baseball coach, and then deciding here, you're going to have people over time, they'll come to you and say, hey, Coach Crawford, I want to become a head coach one day. If they do, what piece of advice would you give them?
Yeah, I thought about this question just from watching your videos, and the book is endless on advice for head coaches. I think this is so valuable because you don't know what you don't know, and then every day is something new. My first two things would be authentic and be ready to adapt, because we all are influenced by somebody. Like there's coaches along the way, like I mentioned earlier, who have molded me to the person and to the coach that I am, but also I'm not those men and I'm not those people. So making sure that I'm authentic and true to who I am, like taking all the good that I learned from all of those guys, and using it to kind of build my own identity and make it mine is very important. Just make sure that you are yourself, because trying to be somebody else is exhausting.
Yeah.
And then be ready to adapt. If you come into it and you have all these ideas and you have all these things that you think you're going to do, and at the end of the day, we're dealing with high school kids, and they're all different. Like be ready to adapt from player to player, be ready to adapt from season to season, week to week, game to game, all of it. We got to be adaptable just like they got to be adaptable. So make sure that you're not so rigid in your process that you don't allow the teams and the players to kind of mold what you do as well. I think that's very important. And then the last thing would be just wherever you're at, be all in, buy into the culture of that school. Make sure that you're a productive part of that culture. I remember when I was at Buford, and Tony Wolf would always say, while you're here, love kids and love Buford. So wherever you're at, most people have many coaching stops along the way, but make sure that wherever you're at, that you're all in on that place. My kids go to Jackson County schools, but like my daughter wants to be a Jag one day, because our family is all in on what we do here. So I think making sure that you're ready for that full commitment of family and in the building and all that to be engulfed in whatever community you're part of.
No, for sure. And I like all three of those points. I think first and foremost, what you said first, being authentic. And I've told coaches this before, you're going to get opinions from everywhere.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you have to be comfortable with what you do, because not everybody gets fired from it, but it's one of those, you got to answer to somebody.
Right.
And if you're like, well, I did it because so-and-so, told me to do it, like you got to be confident in what you're doing. So, and those things change. I think that's important too, that, how you see things your first year and starting a program is probably a lot different than how you see it now once you kind of get in the thick of everything. So, and talking about getting in the thick of everything, coaches have a lot of hats to wear between getting home to your kiddos, making sure the field looks gorgeous, which it does. I know y'all got a game tonight, and ordering uniforms, all the different things. And so, the big part behind the website is trying to hook coaches up with vendors. And so I was asked, who are some vendors that you've loved working with that you would shout out to other coaches?
Yeah, BSN obviously does a great job for us. We also do some work with Damon Gobert at Shuma. And then just the guy that does every bit of our signage and branding and graphics around here is Paul Purdue with Purdue Vision. I think his sign says, "I didn't know you did that." So if you can think of any sort of branding ideas or visions that you have, they can make it happen for you. So Paul Purdue with Purdue Vision would be a great one to look at.
I need to get them added because Seckinger, if nothing else, is definitely branded. And I know coming in with Coach Pop, that was a big thing. The SKG, the colors, the Jags, all the kind of stuff, and it is everywhere. So I need to get their information for you, get them added on the site. So, well, Coach, listen, I appreciate it. I know you got a game today, and best of luck the rest of the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you being here.